Hey y'all, I'm James Wright, and welcome to my shop. Tonight we are going to be having a lot of fun. This is our monthly Q&A, but we are also going to be doing an auction. So yes, going, gone. Hope that was nice and loud. So this is going to be a charity auction. All of the proceeds tonight from the things we're auctioning off, as well as we do have other things that won't be auctioned off live. They'll be auctioned off between now and Saturday. So I'll be talking about that a little later. But all of the proceeds from that are going to the Purple Heart Project. And if you don't know about this, it is actually a project set up by Rob Kosman. And it is to help the veterans who are having difficulties with, well, just from, what's the word I'm looking for? They're disabled, either through PTSD or physical disablements, and being able to help them to cope through with woodworking, which is a phenomenal way to just kind of focus the brain and relax and learn something new. Get the muscles into a new memory. And so it's a lot of it is getting tools into the hands of people who just can't afford them, and getting on with that. So if you haven't seen the Purple Heart Project, you've got to take a look at that. I pinned a link to that in the chat so you can see that as well. If you're watching this recorded, it's down below. But what we're going to be auctioning off today are a bunch of things that were actually made by one of the viewers. Aaron, whoo, sorry. Had some Pepsi ahead of time and that came back up.
Oh, that's going to be dangerous for later.
So if I let out a really good belch, please applaud.
We'll end up being a competition tonight.
So Aaron Fein actually turned all these. So he's actually donating all the time and all the supplies to this, which is really, really cool. So let me actually show you some of the things that we're auctioning off tonight. And we will actually be doing this. We have 4 things we're going to auction off live, as well as answering questions. So if you have questions, you can put those in the chat and say I'll take care of them. And then we have a whole pile of items that are going to be auctioned off on my website. And so there's a link to that is currently pinned in the chat as well as down below. But let me show you these. So tonight we are going to be focusing. There we go. This is a mallet with a white oak handle and an ash head, and each of these have inlaid a label that say Knights of the White Oak with the Wood by Wright logos. Really, really cool job. Aaron did a phenomenal job on these. You can see the wedge in here, and they're all a little bit different. So this is the one we are auctioning off tonight, number 16, and the ones on the website, let me grab these. I don't want to mix them up. So this one is all white oak, which is absolutely gorgeous. I may actually end up bidding on this one with the Paduke wedge in there.
Okay, but did you highlight the most important thing?
What's that?
That they say Knight of the White Oak.
Yeah, they all say Knight of the White Oak in there.
I mean, hello. It's called.
This one is an ash handle, ash head. I love the weight on these. This one also is ash and ash. Really, really cool. But then we also have a whole bunch of pins that we're going to be auctioning off. So number 7 tonight will be a set.
Okay. For those who can't understand, James.
Pens.
Pen.
Pins.
Not pin.
Pens.
He
Pillow.
says
It's the
but
exact
not
same thing.
pillow.
Whatever.
Y'all have missed me, I know.
We've got a set. So this will be one auction, and it comes with a thin line as well as a cigar pin. And I really like the shape on this, how it's inline here and flares out. Each one of these are a little bit different, but they all have Knights of the White Oak in the label. And then we've got number 10. Make sure I don't mix these up. This one is the thin line. That'll probably be the first thing you auction off. Close these up. Don't mix them up. And number 4 is a cigar pin. So we're going to be selling off a thin line, a cigar pin, a set of thin line and cigar pin, and one mallet tonight, and then the rest will be on Saturday. So there are a bunch of these, as well as on Saturday there is one that is a stylus tip as well. So this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do the first auction at 15 after, so in about 10 minutes. And then the second auction will be at 30, the third auction will be at 45, and the last auction will be right at the end. So if you don't get one tonight, then you can hang on. And the auction is going to be a little different because we're doing it live with about a 30-second delay. Yeah, so that is what we're doing tonight. We're going to be having a lot of fun with that. But we do have a lot of announcements, and normally we do these right off the bat, but this is a fun night. Number one, they just released that it is, everything is a go for the MWTCA National Meet in Madison, Wisconsin. And so that is in June. It's mid-June, 16th through the 19th, I think it is.
Yes.
And I'm going to be there. I'm really excited. This is the first big tool meet. And if you've never been to an MWTCA meet, you got to look up my old videos. Imagine an entire basketball court completely covered in tables. And every one of those tables is completely covered in antique tools, and they're all for sale. And it's like, most of my tools have come from an MWTCA meet. So.
And you won't have to try to get them on a plane this time.
Yes. If you can make it, definitely do it. A lot of people are flying from literally around the world because this is the big tool meet. There is no other tool meet like this in the entire world. This is the tool meet. And they usually happen twice a year, but this last year there haven't been any. So we're going to be doing that. I'm also going to be doing a meetup on Friday night for that. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing a lot, but we're getting very excited about this.
Before we go any further.
What's that?
I know you have more announcements, which I'm hoping to be there too, by the way, in case that is further incentive. And the kids. The bidding form. I don't think you clarified the bidding form and then format for tonight yet.
I will talk about the format just before we do the first auction.
So Cheryl, however you say it, no for tonight on the form.
No, the form that you'll find on the website are for the items that are for sale that are auctioned on the website. For tonight, it'll actually be in the live chat. So it should be fun. And yes, I have a gavel, which is my brand new mallet from DFM Toolworks. If you haven't seen this, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's an aluminum handle that's been powder coated, or anodized, powder coated. This one's powder coated. But just, this thing's amazing. Yeah, DFM Toolworks, he makes some good stuff. One of my favorite places. He's just in Wisconsin, just outside of Chicago, not too far from me. So one other update we have, hopefully, fingers crossed, the Sarah's next bench build will be 2 or 3 weeks. We'll be having it. So Sarah actually did some work on it today.
I did work on it today.
I'll show you what she's got. Oop, focus. So she's got legs. Check out my wife's legs. So we started getting some of the permanent stretchers. And what is that joint called?
It's a tenon.
Oh, I have failed, haven't I?
I didn't know there was going to be a quiz. I don't remember.
Drawbore tenon.
Oh, gosh. I don't even think you said that. I mean, we bored holes. I got to flush cut that still. And then, let's see. What did we do? We cut those out. We drilled and cut out, chiseled out that part. And then, there's a nice, that's not a crack. That's going to glue 2 boards together. Anyways, then we did the holes for the dowels and we cut the dowels. And it was a lot of work for just 2 little things. It might get done this century.
Hopefully on this video we will have the legs all put together and the top on it. And then the last video will be all the little detail things, because there's lots of little detail things, drilling dog holes and cleanup and chamfering and actual finish. So it'll be a fun.
It'd be nice to work with a plane again instead of a saw and stuff. Although
we're hoping to get it done before the 1-year anniversary of starting the project.
But I have a new tool that I really like, and it's the flush cut saw. It's small, and
she likes a flexible saw. You married me.
But it's cool, and I like it.
Okay,
right.
9. We got enough time for one question before we jump into...
Gosh, you're really going to make me work hard, and I have no questions right now.
You have no
except
questions?
for about the auction.
Okay. Well, then let me actually explain the auction. And if you do get it, we're going to need one question, because that's the way the auction is going to work. And if anyone does put it in super chats, all of that also goes to the Purple Heart Project as well. So for the auction, the first one we're going to do is the thin line pen. And so this is one that just, it feels good in the hand. So we've got the out of focus pen again. There we go. Thin line functioning pen. And they all come with the decorative box, of course. And what we're going to do is I'm going to open the auction at a certain point. I will give a starting bid. And then you all can put bids into the comments. And I'm going to answer a question while you are all bidding. At the end of that question, I'm going to say, okay, I'm starting my timer. We're going to end it in 1 minute. And I will go and we're done. And when I hit the gavel and I'm done here live, my wife is going to look at the chat, and what she sees on her end, the last bid there is the one that counts. Now here's the trick. We have about a 30-second delay, 30 to 20 seconds depending upon the time. So when I hit the gavel and you hear that, that means that the auction actually ended 20 to 30 seconds before. So you have to make sure your bids are in early enough so that it actually ends, because what's important is what my wife sees on her end. If she doesn't see it, it doesn't count. So even if you put in an incredible bid that blows everyone else out of the water and it comes in 2 seconds after my gavel hits it on my end, sorry. So that's going to be the fun of it. So we'll open it up for that. So we'll see how this goes. This is kind of an experiment. I've seen several other ways of doing it live.
But they'll have the chance to auction on these similar items.
Yes.
Okay, so don't panic.
Yeah, if you really want just the slimline and you don't get it tonight, we have several more that'll be auctioned off on the website, and that'll go Saturday. But these 4 we're selling today, you can only get if you're live. However, there are duplicates of them. There's a slimline, there's the cigar pin, there are sets, there are 3 more mallets that will be auctioned on the website. So if you're watching this recorded and it's before Saturday, you can still do that. Every one of them has a slightly different time so that each auction ends individually rather than a whole bunch of them ending, and that way it makes it easier to keep track of them. So yes, this will be a lot of fun.
So far, my best offer is 2 llamas and a goat.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was the question of how do they pay?
I will contact you afterwards, and so I will get in touch with you. Yeah, if you are the winning bid, if you can send me an email that makes it easier and I can contact you, either I can send you an invoice so you can pay with credit card, or you can pay through PayPal, and we'll talk you out on that. So we'll take care of it on the end. We'll just have to contact afterwards and set that up. If you really want to send a check in the mail, we can do that. And all of these tonight are free shipping, with the caveat of the mallet. If you are in another country, I'm going to do 50% shipping on that. The rest of them, the pins, those I can include in the shipping. So yes. So I'll be covering the shipping. Aaron Finn is covering the construction and the pieces for them. So yes. Do we have a question yet? No questions?
Y'all got to ask a question
Okay.
so we can open.
Yeah, we can't do an auction without questions, and this is a Q&A, so go ahead and have those in there. Let me show you this. This is kind of fun. Let's see who can guess what wood this is made out of. No, it's not the auction, but this is something I was playing with today, making wooden threads and carving them, and so I'm experimenting. They're not fully through. You can see that there's a flat spot still in there, but I'm playing with how to actually carve the threads. And so I'm trying a couple different things, and hopefully having a video coming out soon with cutting nut and bolt with a piece. And I actually bought this chunk of poplar. It's poplar. I bought this 4 years ago, thinking, oh, I'm going to turn that into a screw, and never got to it.
All right, I have a question.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and open the auction. So this first one for the thin line pen, we are going to start the bidding out on this at $5. $5 for that. So we'll start that out. You can go ahead and start bidding in the chat. And what is the question?
Okay, So Michael Green asked, how do you keep the edge of a card scraper from getting jagged when using a sharpening steel?
How do you keep it from getting jagged when using a sharpening steel? I'm going to make several things here, and you might have to correct me. I'm assuming you are talking about a burnisher. Where did my burnisher go? There's my burnisher. A burnisher, in other words, a hard steel for like sharpening knives and such. How do you keep it from getting jagged when using this? I have never had that problem. Usually, if I'm wanting a really nice fine edge on it, before using this, I'm going to take it over to my my sharpening plates, and I'm going to clean it up and get an exact 90-degree edge on all 3 sides of the card scraper. And then I can use this. Ooh, excuse me. And this just turns the burr a little bit, so it doesn't actually make the edge jagged. I think most of the time when it's jagged is if I am using a file to sharpen it, and the file is just a really rough, coarse edge that can make a very rough sawtooth pattern on there, but usually not from a burnisher. So you might have to clarify that a little bit. I would have to see what you're saying, because normally this doesn't make a jagged edge, but I could be missing something out. So how are we coming on that so far?
We're at $25 from Sam Wise so far.
25. And Aaron, hey, thanks for the super chat. Rob says that one of the... Here, can you read that?
Yeah, Rob says one of the biggest problems he has is finding the vets that need help the most. They often suffer from severe depression.
Yes, yeah, and that's one of the things is the greatest thing about the project is that it's helping out vets. But the problem is a lot of the vets that need the help aren't into woodworking. But once they get into woodworking, it really helps them out. So it's how do you contact the people who aren't in the group? So if you have a vet who is running through problems with depression or they're disabled, put them in touch with the Purple Heart Project. It is a great way to help them out, and it's a fantastic hobby to get into, and we'll love to help them out with that. So definitely pass that along. So we are going to end the auction here. Let me actually do it on this. That way I can set it up on my phone. We're going to end it in 1 minute. Once I start this. Yes, wake up. There it goes. If I thought about this, I would have done it ahead of time. Clock. Add timer. 1 minute. We're going to end it in 1 minute. So you have 1 minute left from when I'm saying it, so that might mean 30 seconds on your end. And we're going to have a little bit of fun with this. What are we up to now?
We're at $30.
Is that Russ?
Yes.
Russ. Woohoo. Yeah, and these are, I'm really, really cool. Really happy with how these came out. His work on these labels.
We're doing the pen though, right?
Yes. No, we're doing the
Don't
thin
look
line
at
pen.
the mallet and confuse me.
We fill this one out. His labels are absolutely incredible. Just beautiful. So, yeah, Knights of the White Oak. You can have your official one. So 19 seconds left, which I guess if you're reading that, it's all but done. Going. No, not yet. That's 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who got it?
Oh, Russ did.
So, Russ, if you can send me an email, go on my website and there's a contact form. And I'll get in touch with you and we will set up the shipping on getting out your pin set. Is that another super chat I saw?
Yes, it's from Nate Long. He said, any vets out there, thank you for your service.
Yes, very much so. I almost got the chance to serve. I was actually offered a chance as a pilot in the Air Force, but it didn't come through. So I'm right down this one. Cool.
And then Tom West also said, all vets, thank you and cheers.
Woot woot. Do you want to do a mom joke?
I'm getting there.
Since all those.
The Pepsi is coming back.
If you can't tell, this isn't quite the normal wood by Wright, but it's a lot of fun.
This is the normal woodwork. Okay. What did the drummer name his twin daughters?
Badoomp and Cha?
And a 1 and a 2.
I like Badoomp and Cha.
But they're twins, not for sure.
Cool. Well, do we have any other questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, what
I
we
have
got?
several questions. So in 10 minutes, we'll do the next one.
Yes, we'll do the next one in about
Okay.
10 minutes.
Ooh, I'm throwing my mic.
And our next one will be the cigar pen,
Let's see.
number 4.
Fein. Sorry. What do you think about Bridge City's Jointmaker Pro?
I have never had the chance to play with it. It looks like a lot of fun. I've heard a lot of good things and I've heard a lot of bad things, and I've never had the chance to experiment with it, so I wouldn't be able to answer that. But it does look like a lot of fun, and one of these days I will get my hands on one to play with and experiment, but not yet. So, although I did just buy my very first Bridge City tools. Well, first Bridge City tools that I bought. I had one that was a gift, which is my bevel gauge. It's hiding on me. I wonder where my Bridge City bevel gauge go. I don't know. But I bought their mini block plane with the thicknessing sides. But they had a sale that was like 50% off. It was incredible. So yes, I snagged one.
So, am I supposed to catch up on these mom jokes? Because they're asking.
Oh, do you want to do one for each one?
I have another one.
Okay,
ready.
what's the mom joke?
Okay. How do you make a water bed more bouncy?
How do you make a water bed more bouncy?
Mm-hmm.
What?
You add spring water. I like that one.
Yes.
Because I don't like no purified water. I'm sorry, those people who do.
Got another question?
I have lots of questions. That thing looks ridiculous. Let's see. Harold Schultz. If you only had one day and you want user tools, which day would you choose for the MWTCA meet?
For user tools, I would definitely go Thursday. Thursday is the tailgate sale, and this is where people literally open up the backs of their trucks. They'll throw a table out in the parking lot. And it's usually the slightly lesser quality tools, the older, the more rusty, the stuff that needs to be restored. It's not the collectible tools. And so that just tends to bring a slightly better price. My favorite deals have usually been at the tailgate sale. That's the one I would definitely go to. Because basically what happens is Wednesday is a meet and greet, and sometimes they'll do sales in their hotel rooms, which I've never actually done because usually I can't make it Wednesday. Thursday in the morning, there's a tailgate sale, and it starts at like 6 a.m. And if you want the best deals, you get there at 6 a.m. Because there are some people who show up and have boxes of like $5, anything in this box. And the good stuff is in there, and you got to dig for it. So if you be the first one to dig through it, you get the good deals. But that usually goes until around 3 o'clock. And then Thursday they'll do a tour, and then there'll be a tool talk demonstration in the evening, and then there'll usually be a hospitality time with snacks. Friday in the morning is the first indoor sale, and most people bring two different things. They'll sell stuff at one and they'll sell a different set of things at the other. Some people will then bring those same tools inside, but not everyone. The indoor sale tends to be a little bit more collectible, but there still are some really good deals in there. And if you're looking for the really high quality stuff, that's where you're going to find it. And that one's a lot of fun. So that's Friday and Saturday is the indoor sale. That's the big one. More tools are sold indoor than are sold at the tailgate. But then Friday, there's also several other demonstrations and talks. Saturday, there's another talk, and then there's a big dinner at the end. So it's a full time of fun.
So those, I just want to say, those who are thinking about going and don't know Madison, Wisconsin, it is a fairly family-friendly town. So if you need to bring children or you want to bring everybody with for a day trip, there's a free zoo,
Really good
children's
zoo,
museum,
lots of good parks.
So just
several
throwing
big
that
museums.
out there. That
The National Mustard Museum, can't pass it up. Some really good art museums downtown in the University District. So, yeah. Let's do one more question and then we'll see what the time is.
Okay. I also have another mom joke at some point. Soul 65S. Is it possible to get detail and depth from water-based finishes like you can with oil-based finishes?
Detail and depth is, well, let me tell you the big difference. Most water-based finishes don't add color. They don't bring anything to it. They don't bring a pigment in the oil. And number two, they tend to be more of a surface finish. They don't soak in as much, whereas oil tends to soak in more. So when most people are talking about figure and depth, what happens with an oil base is some points of the wood will actually absorb more finish than others. If you're working in pine, something that you have a nice clean, smooth, white thing of pine and you put an oil finish on it, you'll get this blotchy look, and a lot of people don't like that. But that's just because some areas, in pine or maple and other diffuse porous woods, you'll see some areas absorb more oil than others. You can put a pre-finish on that, and or a sanding sealer, and it goes by a bunch of different names, and that will even out the amount of oil that actually gets absorbed because it gets absorbed into the wood first without leaving a color. And that is very, very useful when you start looking at like oaks, where you want to bring out all the different types of grains, or you want to see the medullary rays in quarter sawn oak. The medullary rays just don't soak up much at all, so they stand out as a much brighter, whiter color, whereas the oak around it absorbs a lot of oil, and so there's a lot of that pigment being drawn down into it, and so you get these dual tones, so you get to see the contrast between different types of the wood, and that's what oil is very good at. Water is not good at that, and water doesn't work as well that way, so water tends to be more of a surface finish most of the time. There are lots of different caveats one way or the other. But most of the time, if you want that figure, you go with an oil finish. So, yeah, to answer the question, I don't really know of any. I really don't like water-based finishes because they just tend to be more of a pain. I've never found one that I really like that much. I don't like white, raw-looking wood, and that's the big benefit that most people like with water-based finishes. You can get that raw look to it that you just can't get with oil-based. So, yeah. Here, let's go into the next auction. So we are now going to auction off this cigar pin. I like this one. This one, and every one of these is a little bit different. So Knights of the White Oak with the two labels on there. Is this one with marbling in it? No, some of the pins actually have marbling in the epoxy. This one is a very nice, smooth, simple shape. Good, graceful flow onto it. I like that one. So this is what we're auctioning off, number 4. And we'll again start this one off at $5 and see where it goes from there. And again, if you really want this and you don't get it, we are going to be auctioning them off on the website. And so you will find those on the other one. So let's go ahead and start the auction on that. And I will close it in a little bit here.
Are you starting at $5 again?
Yes, starting at $5.
Okay.
So what question we got?
Oh, let's see. Bryan Fulmer. I bought 28-foot long 2x6s to finally make a proper Roubo?
28-foot long 2x6s.
Yeah.
Got it.
Is it a Roubo bench?
Roubo.
Roubo bench. Do I need the vices before I start? And then parentheses he put, want a wagon and leg vise eventually.
No, if you are building a wagon vise in though, then you'll probably want to build that into the construction of it. In which case, then yes, you would want it to do that. Now you can retrofit it in. but it's going to mean mortising out a chunk of the bench, and it's just easier to do that during the lamination and glue up phase. But for most things like a leg vise or an end vise or a face vise, you generally don't need that to build the bench. You can actually build a bench without any vices and have a completely functional bench. It's amazing what you can do with dog holes and holdfasts and a crochet hook. You can do some really, really good work without any vices. Vices just are a little bit faster and more efficient as the way they're built in. So it's just a personal thing on that. But no, you don't need them to get going on the bench. So.
But they're really helpful if you're building your bench from scratch. You don't
Yes.
have another bench to use.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with Sarah's bench, and when I built my first bench, is I built the bench top, and I put the vise on it, and I put the top on some sawhorses. She's actually just resting it on top of my saw bench. And with the vise on there, now you have a vise that you can then build your legs. And that actually makes it very nice to have a bench top you can just put on something else. And you have a functional bench at that point. And if you have the vise to put on, that's a great time to put it on. So, no, you don't need it. And if you're saving up money, it's a great thing to add in later, but it is nice. So, is that another super chat from Aaron?
It is. And he says, a great way to help people find the Purple Heart Project is to talk to your local Legion Hall.
Ooh, that's a really good idea. Yeah, thank you, Aaron. And if you don't know, Aaron is he is a huge proponent for it. So it is a good project to be a part of. So let's wrap this up in 1 minute from right now.
We're currently at $35.
$35. Who has that?
Jules Kessler.
Jules Kessler. Okay, so you have 1 minute left. Or I guess by the time you're watching this, you might have like 30 seconds left. Yes. So, I was just about to say something.
Don't hurt yourself.
Completely skipped my brain. Does he have a mom joke while we're waiting?
I can do a mom joke. Ready?
Yes.
What do you call a retired miner?
What?
Doug.
Oh. See, I thought you were going the route of a retired young person.
I was wondering if
Early rich. And okay, 10 seconds.
Rich.
Yes. Ooh, that would be a good one to show the kids. We're going through a lot of our old ones. 3, 2, 1.
Jeez.
So who got it?
Jules Kessler at $45. Is
$45. Nice.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's bid so far.
Yes, I am.
Major.
I'm loving the ability to help out with this.
I like cut twice's answer to my question or my joke.
What's that?
Major. Instead of retired minor, they're a major.
Oh. I was going the military major.
I'm the very model of a modern major. Sorry.
Cool. Well, we'll do the next one in a little over 10 minutes, at 45 after the hour. So what's the next question?
All right, next question. Let's see. Mr. Alex. Follow up on the card scraper question from earlier.
Cool.
Is a knife...
A knife steel?
I think he meant, can a knife sharpener work as a burnisher too?
If you're talking like a knife steel, where is mine? There it is. I have a knife steel right here. Yes, those actually work pretty well. The only thing you need is your steel to be harder than the card scraper you're sharpening. If the steel on your card scraper is softer than the steel you're sharpening with, then it won't work. Like a lot of the new screwdrivers, the shaft is soft and the tip might be hard, but the shaft is so soft that it can't burnish the card scraper. If you have a file with a safe edge, you can use that. Just about anything, as long as the steel is actually harder than the card scraper you're using. But yeah, I used to use a sharpening steel quite a bit. I now use carbide, falling over, carbide rods. And actually I use an unpolished, it's actually a slightly rougher surface which tends to grab the steel more and draw it out. And I really, really like that. They're the ones I sell on my website, and you can see videos of making this one. and other things that I like about it. So, but yes, knife steel works perfectly fine for it. Is that another super chat?
It is a new friends by Wright.
Hey!
James M. Hall. Another James.
Welcome to the club. And for those of you who don't know, if you become a member, I do group video, I do lives in the shop. So when I'm in here building something, I'll turn on the camera so you can join me live in the shop and work along. Today, Luke was here doing some recording, so for like 4 hours or so, we had the live on, so people could pop in and watch us and chat.
You did that when I wasn't in the shop.
Yeah, we turned it off at lunch. Sorry.
I see where I rank.
But I do occasionally try to put up other videos and clips, and like once a month or so, other things that are happening in the shop. So, thanks for supporting the channel.
Yes.
Without patrons and members, this channel would not exist. So, thank you for that. What's the next question?
Wouldn't be as cool. All right, Bryan Fulmer. Did James ever get a Stanley 49? An
49.
auger depth stop?
Oh, yes. I actually just got it. Where'd it go?
I didn't take it.
Here it is. This is kind of cool. This is an auger depth stop.
Oh, you were talking about that.
And I just got this in the mail. I traded a member on the Can I Have It group with several things that I have in my store for it. And let me actually put this on there. I actually haven't had a chance to try it yet. So this is one of those things that I have wanted for long time. And I've got to find one now. There we go. So you can actually, and I got to open it up. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, I can just do it like that. So this will screw down on there. Except for I open it up for this one because it's a bigger one. And so you can actually set it up for different sizes. And it clamps down on there and becomes a depth stop for these augers. So kind of a cool, simple design, but it clamps around the spinning, the flutes of the auger. So kind of a cool, fun thing. I want to play with it a bit before I do a video or show it off. But yes, I finally got one. It's been on my list for a while, if you can't tell. Okay, what's the next question then?
Alex asks, is registration required for the tailgate day?
Yes. You have to be a member of the MWTCA to go to any of the tool sales. And that sounds kind of crazy to the average person until you understand what all is going on there. If they don't do that, then they have to have a bunch of other things for insurance and taxes, because it is an organized event at a convention center. And so there's a lot of things like that that they have to have. You have to be a member of it. But being a member of the MWTCA or some of the other groups, it's well worth it. You get a lot of other things that make it a very, very good deal. It's like $25 a year. So it's a good thing to have. Plus you also then get invited to all of the other local meets. So usually the invites, the advertisements for it only go out to members. So you're not going to see it listed anywhere else other than like when I talk about it or other people are talking about it online. So if you want to go to it, you have to be a member. You can become a member at the door. So if you just want to show up for that. And there is also, there is a Saturday only rate. But if you come for Thursday, you have to pay for the whole weekend. So it's kind of one or all, unless you just come Saturday. But if you just come Saturday, then you're doing the inside on what's already been picked through on Friday. So, yeah.
And if you bring a spouse, you gotta pay more. Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
So
I
just put
but kids are free as long as you don't take them to the banquet on Friday. But the banquet is part of the deal, because it's because the MWTCA is set up for collectors. It's the Midwest Tool Collecting Association. But because a lot of the tools out there are in collections, it's one of the best places to find them. So I started going to there to buy tools. Now I go there for tool information, an incredible amount of tool history and organization and just being able to bounce ideas off the people who have done all the type studies and dating things and finding out the history behind them, and all of the digging and actually going to the locations. And went to a talk for the guy who's exploring the abandoned factory of, I can't remember what the company was, but he was actually exploring an abandoned factory, hoping he can find old papers and things like that scattered around that he could then find out more information about the company. And doing actual research like that, it was fascinating.
Our kids like the old apple peeler.
Yeah, and they do tool demonstrations and other things like that, and it's an incredible amount of information. So I went there initially for finding tools, and it's a great resource for that, but it is an even better resource for the information, the history, the function, the use, the whole what is it. Every time I go there, it doesn't matter how many times I'll walk up to a table and be like, what in the world is this? And the guy who's selling will be like, oh, okay, here's the whole history behind it. You get this whole demonstration and explanation of it. Incredible amounts of it. And everyone who goes there, even though they've been going there for decades, will still find things that they had no idea about. Tools that you've never heard of before. It's fascinating. If you can't tell, I really like it.
And I think they appreciate when your group and our generation comes, because it's a lost art, really.
Yeah.
At least I feel like in the United States. So.
Well, and people do not become tool collectors because they want to become a tool collector. They become a tool collector because they're a user, and they really appreciate this, and they really like that to the point of, ooh, I'd like to have that one too. Oh, I want to have that one too. And you suddenly find yourself as a tool collector. People don't become tool collectors. Users become tool collectors. And they're still becoming a user. Every one of those tool collectors still uses tools. But they're there looking for that one rare piece to add to the collection that they can't find anywhere else. So, yes. Let's get ready for...
I was going to say, how about one more question and then we'll do...
Here, I'll show you. We're going to be doing next the set. So we're going to be doing, it's a thin line and a cigar. So you can have the set of them. I'll show them a little closer when we get there. So stay tuned. What's the next question?
Okay. Alan Hickerson, do you have any advice for kids doing woodworking?
The best advice I can get for getting kids into woodworking is don't try to teach them woodworking. You try to teach them woodworking and you're putting them in school. No kid out there likes school. Let them have some fun. Let them make curls. Let them play with a tool. A spoke shave, a simple 51. They can do amazing things, or 151 in this case. Set up a spoke shave, give it to them, and any person can use a standard flat bottom spoke shave and make curls. Show them how to make a whirligig that is a helicopter with a stick on it. You can make one of those in a few minutes with one of these, and it's a fun, simple project. Do dowel joinery. So put two boards together, drill a hole through them, pound a dowel into it, and you've got a decent joint. And you can make a lot of things with that, birdhouses and bird feeders and toolboxes. And I have a bunch of plans on my website that are completely free that have, I think I have the bird feeder, I have the toolbox and things like that I've actually built with my kids in the shop. And I want them to have the fun of it before they see how to do it. And that fun will keep them going into it, and they'll want to be in there more. So focus on the fun, not on the project, and they will want to do more. So let's do this one. So we are going to do, this comes with a cigar pin and the thin line pin. This one is a really nice shape on here. I like this one where it flares up and gets larger back here and then tapers off. Really nice. And then we've got the thin line with it as well, which is also out of focus. And yes, pleasing. So yes, this is a set for both. And since we've got two, we're going to start this one off at $10. And this is number 7. So $10 bidding on that for the set. And go ahead and start with that, and we'll do a question.
All right. So Alan Hickerson then had another question of, I inherited a Stanley number 20.5 circular plane. Is it worth it to restore?
Yeah. That's actually one of my favorites. Wait, 20.5?
20 and a half? I don't know. It says 20.5.
I don't know the 20 and a half.
I don't know. Maybe it's just 20.
I don't know. I have to look that one up.
Okay.
But a circular plane's a lot of fun. Or a compass plane. I've got several different ones. They are not tools that you need in the shop. And they are not tools that you will use regularly. They are tools that are, they're really, really nice when you need to do that. But you really only need to do that once a year, maybe once every couple years. There are other tools that can do the task just as well, but not as much fun. And so, yeah, do you need the tool? Yes, you need the tool. Is it worth restoring? Yes. Yes, it's worth restoring. It is a great tool to have. They're a lot of fun to restore too because there's a lot of interesting parts in them. But very, very good tool to have, just not a very necessary tool. So, yes. And if you want to see it, I actually have a video on restoring this one. These two are 113s. Yeah. Cool. Hey, Aaron, another super chat. What do you have?
He says, each Purple Heart Project vet gets flown to Canada, is fed, gets a week of intensive class with Rob Kostman, and is sent home with over $2,500 in hand woodworking tools.
Yes. It's a very cool setup. And it's not just the 1 week and intensive. They get a lot after that as well. And it's sort of a brotherhood of woodworkers. Really, really cool system. And if you haven't seen it, you've got to go to Rob Kostman's channel and check it out. He's doing an amazing project with that. Very, very cool system. So thank you, Aaron. Aaron, who's been posting it, he's the guy who made all of these and is donating his time and supplies to this. So yeah, he said he's currently working on making joiner's mallets. So like these ones, but with that. Oh, here, let's end this thing because we're doing the middle of it now. So we're going to end it in 1 minute from now.
We are currently at $50.
$50.
$50.
Nice. I was going to say something with that.
Although Alan's trying to up it with a goat. And I said, maybe we'll get a plushie that'll do your new mascot.
Yes, I've
Wait,
got my
where's
bench
my
dog.
ducky?
Right there beside you. We went to Pearl Harbor and got Sarah an Air Force duck so that she has a kamikaze duck to throw at me.
Well, yeah. I thought about getting the whole set.
Who flies better?
No,
a Marine
bench
duck
dog must remain. I don't know where bench dog is.
Right here.
Oh, right there. Oh, there she is.
Yeah, she pops up in a couple of videos.
Well, she can have a friend if you got a goat.
10 seconds. And I guess if you're watching this, it's already done. But yes. Ooh, a couple last minutes. Time. Who got it?
Tom Engel, $65.
Tom, nice work, man. How do you spell his last name? E-N-G-E-L.
And then we have a super chat from Troy Jacobson. Says, for the Purple Heart Fund. Thank you, Troy.
Thank you, man. Yeah, all super chats are going to the Purple Heart Fund as well. So if you don't win something you want to give to that, go ahead and throw it in that. Or if you want to go directly to the Purple Heart Fund, there's a link in the chat and find out more about that. So at the end of it, in about 10 minutes, we will be auctioning off the ash mallet with white oak handle. So stay tuned. This one is really cool. I love yeah, this one's, I don't know, this one's my favorite. This one's my favorite. It's a really nice mallet. Really nice mallet. So what, does he have a mom joke?
I do. Why shouldn't you spell part backwards?
Why?
It's a trap.
Oh. I tried to sell it backwards quickly and it wasn't that fast. I couldn't write it out.
I was kind of hoping you wouldn't be able to because it was funnier for me to
It's
say
a word problem. I'm not going to be able to do it. There's a reason we don't play word games in this house.
Yeah, anyone want to come play word games with me? Like Scrabble or Boggle or categories.
Although I win Scrabble, so. Only because you helped me every word. So, what questions we got?
All right. A tiny woodshop. Would we ever see a Lee Nielsen plane on your wall?
Probably not. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Lee Nielsen, fantastic planes, really, really good. But in all honesty, if I've got an old Stanley, the niceness of the Lee Nielsen, which is a bedrock format, it's not worth the price jump up for me. For a lot of people, it's well worth it and great. For me, not so much. If I'm going to spend the money to jump up to that, I'm going to get a Veritas Custom. In my book, the best plane ever made. Phenomenal, phenomenal plane. But personal preference, everyone's going to be different. So probably won't see a Lee Nielsen on there. But who knows? I had a Lee Nielsen smoother, and I traded it away because I just generally didn't use it like the Stanleys. But yeah, I've used them quite a bit in other shops or in testing, and they're great planes. Work phenomenally. If you want to get a plane that you know is going to work, it's going to be set up and ready to run. Good quality, fantastic feel and finish. Few things just feel as good in the hand as a brass smoother. They're phenomenal. Oh, trying not to belch.
He's struggling.
Last time you bring me a Pepsi for the live, I asked for it.
I was like, excuse me, Moa. Don't you be throwing me under that bus, mister.
Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, Matt Tomon wants to know, what stains do you use?
I generally don't use any stain. If I want a particular wood tone, I buy the wood that has the tone I'm looking for. With a few caveats, if I'm doing something for someone who really wants a stain, like I did a fireplace mantle for friends of ours, and she really wanted an espresso dark. So I stained oak into a really espresso dark. And she loved it, and I was kind of like, oh, I really wish I would have kept the original, but she liked it, so that's what counts. For me, I just generally use the Minwax oil-based stain. It is a very forgiving stain, very easy. It's incredibly difficult to double dip that and make it darker or blotchy. Just a very forgiving, easy stain to work with that works up very well over time. So it's relatively cheap. You can buy it just about anywhere. So that's what I generally go to. I'm not a huge fan of dyes. They're just more complicated, and I haven't seen a huge benefit to them. There's a few places, such as if you're trying to get like the mission color out of a quarter sawn white oak, but it's rare that I'm trying to do that. So I prefer to just age it naturally and get that color the way it used to come.
That's how my hair ended up this way.
She got too close to my gray stain.
Well, you said you liked it all natural. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Yeah, every 3 weeks is overrated. Let's see. H Mostafa said, I'm waiting for my TayTools auger bits to arrive. What other advice for using it? Thanks in advance.
The auger bits, not too much to them. They're really, really good tools.
So was that what I got to use today, was one of the new ones?
Yes.
I could definitely tell a difference from before.
Yes.
Better, easier.
Yeah, the three flutes, they take far less pressure. I can run the 1.5 inch auger bit with my pinky. It still means Sarah's going to have 2 hands, but...
Just look at the video when it comes out.
No, they run incredibly smooth. I absolutely love mine. As to advice, not really. They're really forgiving. They're easy to use. Don't drop them. Protect the snail on the end of it. I haven't gotten mine to the point where I need to sharpen them yet, so not too much of that. I have, if you don't know, I have several videos on the auger bits I use, the wood owls, as well as I have one on making my my case that holds them. So really, really good video. Really, really good auger bits. There we go. Well, how many questions do we have left?
I have 2.
You have 2. Okay, let me get this auction going because we're going to start a little bit early so we can end this. And we are going to show off this mallet. And this one, I love this. It's got complete, it's got the bug holes. Yeah, bug holes that have been
James,
filled.
It's black.
I hit the wrong button. There we go. Sorry.
There we go.
So you got bug holes that have been filled. It's been stabilized, but this beautiful ash is just gorgeous. But this one has the white oak handle, which I am in love with. This is the cleanest of the epoxy pours, but it has Knights of the White Oak with the 2 logos on there. Really, really cool all around. And this is the one that doesn't have the Paduke. I don't remember what wood he said.
Is it ash to match?
It might be ash as well. The wedge in there.
Did I get it right, Aaron?
Really, really beautiful. This one is, I think fit and finish wise, this is my favorite of them. Though this one is all white oak. This one has a lot of filled to be stabilized, or it was stabilized. And so I love the look of this one. I love the feel of this one. This one is this one's so cool. So we're going to start the bidding on this at $25. And so this one, if you are in the U.S., it is free shipping. If you are in outside of the U.S., then contact me and we'll do half off the shipping to get it somewhere else. Because it's a bit heavy, it will cost a bit to get out there. But yes, go ahead and start the bidding on that one. And Aaron has another one.
What are you starting it at?
25.
25. That's a steal of a deal, especially free shipping.
Yeah, free shipping. It's going to cost me that to ship it out.
I'm like, that's a good deal. All right, Aaron said when the Purple Heart Project vets get home from the class, they also get a woodworking bench that has been made by volunteers called the Bench Brigade. Very cool.
I did not know that. That is very cool. I didn't see that. Yeah, it's an amazing organization, and some of the stories that have come out there and what he's been able to do are just, it's very cool. So
they're apparently much faster than I am.
What's that?
So they're much faster building a bench.
There's more than one.
All right, we're currently at 50 going to Russ. There were 3 that came in 50, bam, bam, bam. So
okay,
Russ
what's our
has
question?
it right now. Let's see, Clockman 45. If glue freezes, can it still be used when it warms up?
PVA glues, generally no. They're water-based, and so it can depend on how they're frozen, but generally once they freeze, I throw them out just because I don't want to trust it. I want to trust it, but I don't trust it. So no, if it freezes, I throw it out. There are circumstances in which it's perfectly fine, but I'm not going to mess with that because you don't know until the project falls apart because the glue failed. And you just don't want that. And so it's worth the peace of mind to go get a new one. So yes, I keep mine indoors.
In the cabinet.
It doesn't mean for the people down in Texas who had everything indoors as well and still ran into the problem. So generally, if it freezes, I throw it out. But I guess it just depends on how much you want to trust it. You have one more, you said?
I do. Are you going to start the timer or no?
No, let's go ahead and do that one.
Okay. The last one I have is from Cut Twice, and it's related to the MWTCA meet, and it is the food kosher.
I have no idea.
I didn't think so either, but can I ask?
Yeah, I don't know. Because they usually offer 3 different things for the banquet. And then there's snack things afterwards are usually like appetizer, drinks and whatnots. So I have never heard it being advertised as kosher. So sorry, I don't know.
We could send an email?
Yeah, there's contact forms on the website. And if you become a member, they'll send you the registration form so you can fill out that.
So currently we're at $70 to Tom Engel. Just
okay.
So everybody
so
knows. I'm
going to do. Where did it go? Timer. There we go. And starting now, 1 minute from now. I paused it.
And then
here it goes.
Jose put in that the bench brigade is looking for volunteers to provide materials and build the benches. The benches can be shipped to, I believe, New York, and then Rob is able to pick them up because of his business.
I might look at that. That'd be a fun one to make a bench for that. I'll have to look into that. That would make both a good video and a good project. So, what are we at now?
We are at $80 to Jules Kessler.
30 seconds left.
Ooh, I have a 90.
Is that Kenny?
Uh-huh. Penny and Janet.
20 seconds. So here we go. My favorite ash and oak mallet is going to be going in 10 seconds, or 12, 11, 10.
Ooh, we got $100.
Jim, ooh, almost in time, or just in time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Sold.
All right, Jim N for $100.
Jim N, nice work, man. A good name.
Thank
I
you.
like that one. So if you won one of these, if you can send me an email, that would help me out. Otherwise, I will hunt you down. And we'll get in touch with the shipping and get those out. So congrats to everyone who won that. If you didn't win one and want to go, you can go to my website. I have a link to it down in the description as well as in the chat. And you can actually go and bid on the rest of them right now. And those will all be closing on Saturday. So we'll be having a lot of fun with that.
When?
Each one of them has a different closing time.
Okay.
So they all separate out by 15 or 10-minute increments so that I can each close one out before the next one comes in. So I'll have like 3 hours of closing auctions and making sure everything's taken care of there. So yes, head on over there. There's a form you fill out and you can tell which one you want to bid and what it is. And I will update the current price on them as fast as I can. So I'm kind of playing with it as I haven't done an auction on the website before, but we'll see how that goes. But all proceeds will be going to the Purple Heart.
So they'll be able to see it though live what the bid is at currently.
Yes, well, close to live as soon as I get a chance to update it.
Okay.
With,
Yeah,
that way I can focus on the last one and I can update it as the bids come in.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we had some higher bids come in after, but that's the
Yep, that's the
unfortunate
fun of
thing
being
about live and
lag.
But chance for more. You guys just have to
So
outbid
congrats,
James.
Jim. You did good work.
Who is yelling upstairs?
So, do we have any last minute questions?
No, we've got them all.
Cool. Well, then let's wrap this thing up. And if you won one, send me an email and we will get that out to you. And if you didn't win one and want to, you can head on over to the website, link to it in the description as well as pinned in the chat, and bid on one of these because we have 3 more mallets and then a bunch more pins. And a huge thank you to Aaron for putting these all together. And let's do this for the Purple Heart Fund. And I will be donating all of the super chats as well. So stay tuned for that and we'll see how much this actually generates. So next week we are going to be getting back to the joinery window and having a bit of fun with that. So I think that'll do it for now. And until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.